Turn water into wealth. $8 a year from your backyard. Part 1 Opening Hook. What if wealth was hiding beneath the water? The camera slowly drifts across a quiet rural morning. Mist hovers above still ponds. A rooster crows in the distance. Beneath the glassy surface, a ripple moves, a shadow twisting like liquid gold. Most people think you need endless acres of land, heavy machinery, and big investments to make money from farming. But what if the future of farming doesn't begin on dry land at all? What if it begins right here, beneath the surface of calm, quiet water? The camera zooms into the reflection of a small cement tank behind a farmer's home. Inside, dozens of slender eels move gracefully, their bodies glimmering in soft morning light. The air is clean, the water is clear, the farmer smiles. For generations, rural families across Asia have depended on muddy ponds, messy, unpredictable, and full of risk. Disease, drought, rising feed prices, all the old problems of traditional aquaculture. But somewhere in the countryside, a quiet revolution has begun. A few bold farmers decided to leave the mud behind, and what they discovered could change the future of sustainable food forever. Cut to a montage. Farmers wearing gloves, testing pH sensors, feeding eels with fresh worms, and recording data on their smartphones. A digital dashboard lights up. Oxygen, 3.5 milligrams per liter. pH, 7.5. Growth rate, plus 4% daily. These aren't corporate farms or million-dollar facilities. They're small, family-run systems, built with simple cement tanks, clean water, and a deep understanding of nature's rhythm. Yet together, they're rewriting the rules of modern aquaculture. Imagine earning thousands of dollars every few months, from a space no bigger than your garage. No muddy ponds, no chemical runoff, no complex machinery, just clean water, quiet effort, and smart design. Because in today's world, innovation doesn't always roar like a tractor. Sometimes, it swims silently under the water's surface. As the camera pans across rows of tanks glistening under the sun, farmers lift buckets of eels, smiling as they count their profits. Welcome to the Farmer's Ally, where small ideas grow into big opportunities. And where the next agricultural revolution might just be hiding beneath the water. 2. The problem: why traditional fish farming is struggling. Traditional fish farming once symbolized hope, a simple promise that anyone with a pond and patience could turn water into wealth. But today, that dream is slipping away. What was once seen as a secure path to income has become one of the hardest ways to make a living in agriculture. Feed prices have become a nightmare for small farmers. Each bag costs more than the last, and the profit margin shrinks with every feeding cycle. Farmers pour in their savings, only to see their returns disappear before harvest. Disease outbreaks hit without warning, bacterial infections, parasites, and viruses spread fast in stagnant ponds. One bad week can erase months of hard work. Many families find themselves deeper in debt after every harvest season. Land scarcity adds another layer of pressure. As urban areas expand, agricultural land becomes more expensive and fragmented. Farmers who once relied on large earthen ponds are forced to downsize, making traditional models unsustainable. The smaller the pond, the harder it becomes to manage water quality, and the higher the losses. Then there's the mud, the silent killer of productivity. Thick, black, and foul-smelling, it traps uneaten feed, fish waste, and decaying organic matter. This sludge releases ammonia and toxic gases that suffocate fish and breed disease. Cleaning it out means draining entire ponds, hauling buckets of sludge, and starting again from zero. It's exhausting, dirty, and costly work. Many farmers spend more time maintaining their ponds than actually raising their fish. The environmental cost is equally heavy. Polluted runoff seeps into nearby canals and rivers. Over time, entire farming zones become contaminated, driving away other aquatic life. Even the farmers themselves begin to feel trapped, caught between survival and sustainability. Across Asia, the same story repeats itself. Ponds lie empty, their walls cracked and dry. Farmers have walked away, leaving behind equipment, nets, and debts they'll never repay. Every year, thousands quit aquaculture, says one cooperative leader. They can't keep up with the rising costs, unstable weather, and endless disease outbreaks. But a few, with the right system, are quietly winning. These few have discovered something revolutionary. They realized that the problem isn't the fish, it's the mud. By removing it entirely, they've found a way to control the uncontrollable: clean water, steady growth, and consistent profits. Their secret? They've left the mud behind. 3. The discovery: meet the eel, the forgotten gem of freshwater farming. For decades, one creature has quietly thrived in the shallow waters, canals, and rice fields of Asia, a slippery, secretive survivor that most farmers overlooked. Its name is Monopterus albus, the Asian swamp eel, once considered too wild, too hard to handle, and too unpredictable to raise in captivity. This eel is now being rediscovered as one of the most profitable and sustainable species in freshwater farming. Farmers call it the Wagyu of freshwater, not because it's rare, but because of its unmatched quality and resilience. Its meat is firm, flavorful, and rich in protein. It's prized in high-end restaurants across Asia for its delicate texture and deep nutritional value. Traditional medicine even hails it as a natural health booster, believed to strengthen energy, improve blood circulation, and enhance recovery. For generations, this humble eel lived in the mud, burrowing deep to escape predators and droughts. Catching it required patience, skill, and muddy hands, a job few enjoyed. That's why, for so long, the eel was ignored by commercial aquaculture. People thought it couldn't be tamed. They were wrong. As technology evolved, so did the approach. A new wave of farmers began experimenting with clean cement tanks, small, controllable environments that mimic the eel's natural instincts without the problems of mud and waste. With the right setup, they discovered that eels could grow fast, stay healthy, and yield incredible profits with minimal space. The numbers tell the story. In traditional pond systems, survival rates hovered around 60 to 70%. In modern tank systems, those numbers jumped to 95 to 99%, with growth rates of 3 to 5% per day. The results shocked everyone. Suddenly, what once seemed like an impossible species became one of the most efficient creatures to farm. And the market? It's booming. Across Vietnam, Thailand, and China, eels sell for $5-8 per kilogram, depending on size and season. In Japan and Korea, premium wild-caught or tank-raised eels command even higher prices. But the real surprise comes from abroad. In the United States, Canada, and Europe, Asian communities have fueled a growing demand for fresh eel, not just for restaurants, but also for home cooking and health supplements. Ethnic grocery stores in California, Texas, and New York often import frozen or live eels, selling them for $10 to $15 per pound. The niche is small, but it's consistent, profitable, and expanding. Farmers once feared eels, their slippery bodies, their secretive habits, their reputation for being impossible to contain. But with modern design, careful observation, and data-driven management, that fear has vanished. In its place stands confidence. Split the image in your mind. On one side, a muddy, disease-prone pond; on the other, a clean, tiled tank with crystal-clear water. The old world and the new. One smells of decay and struggle, the other, of innovation and opportunity. In the clean tank, everything is controlled: temperature, oxygen, light, feed. The eel thrives in peace, hidden inside its synthetic shelters, living in conditions that mirror the wild but without chaos. Farmers track every parameter on their phones: oxygen level, water pH, feed conversion ratio. What was once guesswork has become science. The eel, once dismissed as untamable, is now a symbol of transformation. It represents what happens when tradition meets technology, when old wisdom adapts to new tools. It is proof that even the most underestimated creatures can unlock the future of sustainable aquaculture. The farmers who dared to try have found their golden fish, or rather, their golden eel. 4. Understanding the species, know the animal, master the system. To succeed with eels, you must first understand them, not just their biology, but their nature. Eels are mysterious creatures, shaped by instinct and rhythm. They are survivors, born to adapt, thrive, and disappear when threatened. Farmers who respect those traits don't fight nature, they work with it. That's the real secret to mastering eel farming. The Asian swamp eel, Monopterus albus, is a nocturnal animal. While other fish feed in daylight, eels come alive when the world goes dark. They prefer quiet, low-light environments where they can move unseen. In nature, they burrow deep into mud or hide beneath roots and leaves, avoiding predators and conserving energy during the day. At night, they emerge to hunt, guided by touch, vibration, and scent. This behavior explains why traditional open pond systems never worked well: too much sunlight, too little control. Eels hate bright exposure. In clean cement tanks, however, farmers can recreate their ideal habitat: shaded roofs, calm water, and plenty of hiding spaces. Artificial shelters, like bundles of nylon rope, bamboo mats, or perforated pipes, replace mud and roots, giving the eels comfort and security. The result? They grow faster, eat better, and stay stress-free. The eel's growth rate is remarkable when conditions are right. Within 8 to 12 months, a juvenile can reach 150 to 250 grams. The perfect market size. Some farmers even achieve higher weights by extending the cycle slightly or by selecting genetically strong juveniles. Unlike many fish, eels convert feed into body mass with surprising efficiency. Their flexible metabolism allows them to thrive on a variety of protein sources, from live worms and snails to formulated pellets with 35 to 44% protein. Their appetite follows a rhythm. 2. Eels feed most actively at night, consuming up to 80% of their daily intake after sunset. Smart farmers adapt to that pattern instead of forcing change. They feed eels twice daily, a light meal at dawn and a main feeding in the evening, allowing the animals to eat naturally. That synchronization reduces waste and improves growth. To truly understand how extraordinary the eel is, it helps to compare it with other popular aquaculture species like tilapia and catfish. Tilapia, one of the most common freshwater fish, usually takes about 6 to 7 months to reach market size. Its feed conversion ratio, the amount of feed needed for 1 unit of weight gain, ranges between 1.6 and 1.8, which means it requires quite a bit of feed to grow. The survival rate of tilapia hovers around 80 to 85%, and while it's fairly easy to raise, it carries a high risk of disease in warm climates. Profits per square meter are moderate, and competition in the market keeps prices low. Catfish, another traditional choice, grows to harvest size in roughly 7 to 8 months. Its feed conversion ratio averages 1.8 to 2.0. And survival rates are slightly lower, about 75 to 80%. Catfish can handle various conditions but still struggle with water pollution and mid-level disease risks. Profit margins remain moderate, as high feed costs and water management challenges cut into earnings. Eels, however, tell a completely different story. In clean, controlled tank systems, the Asian swamp eel, Monopterus albus, reaches market size in 8 to 12 months, a little longer than tilapia or catfish. But with remarkable efficiency, its feed conversion ratio is only 1.2 to 1.4, meaning it needs less food to grow the same amount of weight. Even more impressive is its survival rate, 90 to 99%, the highest among all 3 species. Because of their resilience, compact space requirements, and strong market price, eels deliver significantly higher profits per square meter than traditional fish. The risk of disease is also far lower, especially in biosecure, no-mud environments where water parameters are carefully maintained. In short, while tilapia and catfish farming often struggle with rising costs, waste management, and unpredictable weather, eel farming offers cleaner water, greater control, and a much better return on investment. It's a perfect example of how understanding a species' biology, and designing the right system around it, can transform farming from a gamble into a reliable, science-driven business. Eels require patience, but they reward it generously, while tilapia or catfish depend on large ponds and frequent water changes. Eels thrive in smaller, controlled systems. Their low movement and nocturnal feeding reduce stress and injuries, and their natural immunity is stronger when raised in stable, low-light environments. But understanding eels goes beyond numbers. It's about empathy, learning how they think and live. They are quiet, deliberate, and adaptable. They don't rush, and neither should the farmer. When you match their rhythm, everything aligns. Feeding becomes predictable, waste decreases, and water quality remains steady. Eels are also natural indicators of balance. When they swim calmly near the surface, it means oxygen levels are right. When they hide too deeply, the water may be too warm or polluted. A good farmer learns to read these subtle signs like a language, one built on observation and respect rather than control. This is where eel farming becomes more than a business. It becomes a relationship. Every tank, every feeding, every quiet night is part of a conversation between farmer and nature. The more you listen, the more you understand. Those who rush into this model seeking only profit often fail, but those who take time to observe, to feel the rhythm of the water, the pulse of the tank, discover that eels respond in kind. They grow stronger, healthier, and faster. It's not magic, it's harmony. In the end, successful eel farming isn't about dominating nature. It's about working with it, creating an environment where both the farmer and the eel thrive. As one farmer put it, it's not just farming, it's understanding nature's rhythm. 5. Smart tank design, the science behind a perfect habitat. Behind every successful eel farm is a carefully engineered system, one that mirrors nature while remaining easy to control. The cement tank model is the heart of this transformation. It turns what was once unpredictable and labor-intensive into something precise, efficient, and scalable. The concept is simple but powerful. Instead of fighting nature's chaos, you design an environment that anticipates it. Each element, from size to slope, serves a purpose. For small-scale or family setups, a tank of 4 to 6 square meters is ideal. It's compact enough for easy maintenance, yet large enough to support hundreds of eels. For commercial operations, tanks can expand to 10 to 20 square meters, often built in parallel rows for rotational stocking. Regardless of size, the structure remains consistent, simple, functional, and built to last. The height of each tank ranges from 0.8 to 1 meter. Just enough to hold stable water levels while preventing escape. Smooth, tiled, or polished cement walls ensure the eels aren't injured when they burrow or move. The floor is slightly sloped, around 2.5 to 5 centimeters toward the drainage outlet. This minor tilt makes cleaning and water changes effortless, allowing waste to flow out naturally instead of settling into stagnant pockets. Water management defines the system's success. Eels are sensitive to poor quality, so flow and circulation matter. Each tank includes a controlled inlet and outlet system. The inlet brings in clean, oxygenated water, while the outlet removes excess feed and organic waste. Some setups use gravity-fed water flow, while others rely on small submersible pumps. The water depth remains consistent between 20 and 40 centimeters, shallow enough for easy monitoring, yet deep enough to maintain thermal stability. Oxygen levels must stay above 3 milligrams per liter, which can be achieved with aerators or diffusers. Farmers who install basic oxygen sensors can automate aeration, ensuring ideal levels around the clock. Above the surface, one simple yet clever trick makes a huge difference: floating vegetation. A thin layer of water hyacinth or duckweed, covering roughly 1/3 of the surface, provides shade and keeps temperatures stable. It also helps eels feel more secure, encouraging them to feed actively. Beneath the water, hanging structures such as nylon ropes, bamboo mats, or PVC tubes act as shelters, the eel's equivalent of underwater homes. This reduces stress and aggression, especially in high-density tanks. The most advanced version of this model integrates Recirculating Aquaculture System technology. This is where traditional craftsmanship meets modern science. In a ROS setup, Nearly all the water is reused. The system passes through 3 main filters. 1. Mechanical filtration removes solid waste and uneaten feed. 2. Biological filtration uses beneficial bacteria to convert toxic ammonia into harmless nitrates. 3. UV sterilization eliminates pathogens, viruses, and algae spores. Clean water continuously cycles back into the tank, keeping conditions pristine. Farmers using ROS report staggering improvements, survival rates up to 99%, faster growth, and reduced odor. Some studies show that eels in ROS environments grow 3 to 5% faster per day than those in conventional tanks. The initial investment might seem high, but the payoff is undeniable. Building a standard cement tank costs around $400 to $600, depending on materials and finishing. Adding a ROS system, including filters, pumps, and UV sterilizers, costs an additional $1 per tank on average. Yet these costs quickly balance out through long-term savings. Water consumption drops by up to 70%, drastically cutting utility bills. Labor time is cut in half since water doesn't need to be changed daily. Cleaning becomes a quick rinse instead of a full-day job. Feed efficiency improves, survival rates climb, and disease outbreaks become almost non-existent. Over a few cycles, the savings outweigh the investment many times over. Another overlooked advantage of the cement tank model is space optimization. Tanks can be stacked, arranged side by side, or even built under shade structures in urban backyards. Some farmers integrate solar panels on the roof to power pumps and sensors, turning their setup into a self-sustaining microfarm. With modern tools, one person can manage an entire small-scale operation using a smartphone dashboard. In the past, farmers depended on instinct and weather. Today, they rely on data. Temperature, pH, oxygen, and feed efficiency are tracked in real time. This is Aquaculture 4.0, low risk, high return, and environmentally responsible. The cement tank model doesn't just raise eels, it raises standards. It gives small farmers control, stability, and pride. What used to be muddy, backbreaking work has evolved into a clean, scientific craft. In the soft hum of pumps and the gentle ripple of clear water, there's a sense of quiet mastery, proof that farming doesn't have to be dirty or desperate. With the right design, every square meter of water becomes a living machine for growth, balance, and profit. In the end, smart design isn't just about concrete and pipes. It's about vision, seeing what the future of farming can be when technology and tradition flow together. 6. The 5-step journey, from setup to harvest. Every successful eel farmer follows a rhythm, a process that transforms empty tanks into thriving ecosystems of life and profit. It's not guesswork, it's a system built from science, discipline, and understanding. The journey from setup to harvest follows 5 essential steps. Step 1. Preparing the tank. Everything begins with preparation. A clean foundation ensures a healthy start. Before a single eel enters the tank, the system must be free of harmful residues, pathogens, and toxins. New tanks should be washed thoroughly, filled with clean water, and left to soak for 7 to 10 days to neutralize any traces of cement or chemicals. After soaking, the water is drained, and the surfaces are disinfected using agricultural lime, 1 kilogram per 10 square meters, or potassium permanganate, 2 to 3 grams per cubic meter. This kills bacteria, fungi, and parasites that might harm the eels. For used tanks, the process is even more critical. After every production cycle, water must be drained completely, and the tank walls scrubbed clean to remove algae and organic buildup. Sun drying for at least 2 weeks is recommended to eliminate lingering pathogens. Next, biosecurity comes into play. Every pipe, net, or tool used must be cleaned before entering the tank area. Unfiltered river or pond water should never be used. Only clean well or rainwater that has been left to settle for 12 to 24 hours should be introduced. Maintaining a stable pH of 7 to 8 ensures an environment that eels love, neither too acidic nor too alkaline. Proper preparation might seem tedious, But it's the difference between success and failure. As experienced farmers say, the tank sets the tone for the entire journey. Step 2. Choosing and releasing fingerlings. The next step is life itself, selecting the young eels, or fingerlings, that will grow into profit. Choosing strong, healthy stock is crucial. The ideal eel fingerling is lively, smooth-skinned, and uniformly sized, around 30 to 40 individuals per kilogram. Their color should be a consistent golden brown, and they should swim actively when placed in water. Avoid wild-caught eels, which are harder to tame and prone to stress. Instead, buy from trusted hatcheries that produce domesticated, hormone-free juveniles. Healthy, uniform fingerlings ensure even growth and reduce aggression later. Before release, all fingerlings should undergo a salt bath, 2 to 3% saline solution for 5 to 10 minutes, to remove parasites and bacteria. If wild stock must be used, they should be quarantined in a separate tank for 5 to 7 days, with frequent water changes and light feeding, to help them adapt to captive life. Stocking density is key to balance. For beginners, 80 to 160 eels per square meter is ideal. As they grow, farmers gradually reduce density to 20 to 25 per square meter. In ROS systems, densities can safely reach 300 eels per square meter, provided oxygen and filtration are maintained. The release should happen in calm, cool weather, preferably early morning or late evening. The eels are gently poured into the water and left undisturbed for several hours. This quiet start helps them acclimate peacefully. Success begins the moment you choose the right life to nurture. Step 3. Feeding and management. Feeding is the heart of growth. Eels are carnivorous by nature and thrive on high-protein diets. The best results come from a combination of 80% fresh feed, such as worms, snails, and small fish, and 20% formulated pellets with 35 to 44% protein content. Feed twice daily, early morning, 6 a.m., and evening, 6 p.m., following their natural rhythm as nocturnal feeders. Use bamboo or mesh feeding trays to control portions and prevent leftover food from polluting the water. After 1 hour, remove uneaten feed. The quantity depends on body weight, 3 to 7% of total biomass per day. During cooler months, reduce feed slightly as the eel's metabolism slows. Modern farms integrate smart tools. IoT-based feeding monitors can track consumption automatically, alerting farmers through mobile apps when trays are empty. This ensures no waste and keeps water quality high. Adding vitamin C and probiotics to feed 2 or 3 times per month boosts immunity, improves digestion, and strengthens resistance against stress. Farmers often observe that healthier eels grow faster and have firmer, better quality meat, a trait buyers notice instantly. Water management is equally critical. Replace 30 to 50% of tank water daily in standard systems, or let ROS units handle filtration automatically. Always check oxygen levels, temperature, and pH at least once a day. Consistent, precise management turns effort into efficiency. Step 4. Disease prevention and water care. In aquaculture, prevention is always cheaper than cure. Clean water is life itself. Eels rarely fall sick when their environment is stable, but when problems occur, quick action matters. The most common issues include intestinal infection, causes swollen bellies and red vents. Treat with potassium permanganate, 2 to 3 grams per cubic meter, or iodine, 1-1.5 grams per cubic meter, every 2 weeks. Fungal infection, visible as white patches or fuzzy spots on the skin. Bathe affected eels in 3% salt water for 10 minutes and improve water circulation. Hemorrhagic disease, linked to poor water quality and stress. Lower stocking density, increase oxygen, and consult a vet for antibiotics if needed. Automation simplifies everything. With digital sensors, farmers can continuously monitor pH, temperature, and oxygen through their phones. When ammonia spikes, an alert sounds. When oxygen drops, the aerator activates. It's real-time farming, turning potential disaster into quick recovery. Clean water, clean feed, and calm handling keep mortality near zero. The goal is not just to grow eels, but to maintain an ecosystem where balance sustains itself. Step 5. Harvest. After 6 to 8 months, the journey reaches its reward. By this time, each eel weighs 150 to 250 grams. Sleek and muscular, perfect for market sale. Harvesting requires care. Draining too quickly or using nets roughly can injure the fish and reduce value. Instead, lower the water gradually to about 5 to 10 centimeters. Remove shelters, and scoop the eels gently into clean baskets. Morning is the best time, the temperature is cool, and the eels are less active. Before sale, let them fast for 24 hours to empty their intestines. Buyers prefer clean, firm-bodied eels with no feed residue or chemical traces. Those raised in ROS systems often command premium prices for their bright color, strong texture, and clean smell. A well-managed 6 square meters tank yields 15 to 20 kilograms of eels per cycle. With advanced systems and higher densities, yields can exceed 40 to 60 kilograms per square meter, a level that transforms small-scale farming into serious income. Each tank tells a story of patience, precision, and profit, from washing the first wall to counting the final harvest. Every step reflects a farmer's discipline and care. This is the art of modern eel farming, where knowledge replaces luck, and clean water becomes liquid gold. 7. Real success stories, ordinary farmers. Extraordinary results. Approximately 1.000 words. Every revolution begins with people, those who dare to try something different, to test what others doubt. Across Vietnam, a handful of farmers turned their backyards into laboratories of innovation. Their results have inspired thousands, proving that success in eel farming isn't about luck or land size, it's about knowledge, discipline, and persistence. Mr. Quang, the smart innovator, Ninh Binh. In the quiet countryside of Ninh Binh, surrounded by rice fields and limestone hills, lives Mr. Tran Van Quang, a farmer who turned his family's land into one of Vietnam's most advanced eel farms. His setup spans 3.600 square meters. But what makes it remarkable isn't its size, it's the technology. Mr. Quang built hybrid cement tanks, half underground, half above ground, designed to maintain ideal water temperatures year-round. Each tank connects to a central control system that tracks oxygen, pH, and temperature in real time. From his smartphone, he can adjust aeration, trigger water circulation, and even receive alerts if conditions change. He started small, with only a few tanks and a modest batch of fingerlings. But his approach was systematic. He experimented with different stocking densities, feeds, and filtration systems until he found the perfect balance. Within 2 years, his yields doubled, and his mortality rate dropped to nearly zero. Today, Mr. Quang produces over 2 tons of market eels and 100.000 juvenile eels annually, earning around $12 in net profit, a remarkable figure for a small rural farm. But for him, the true reward isn't just money. Farming used to be about survival, he says. Now it's about data and precision. I know my tanks better than I know the weather. Mr. Thai, the breeder's vision. A few miles away, Mr. Pham Van Thai took a different path. Instead of focusing on meat production, he specialized in breeding and supplying high-quality eel fingerlings. While most farmers depend on hatcheries, Mr. Thai decided to master the hardest part of the process, breeding and rearing young eels. Through trial, error, and mentorship from aquaculture researchers, he developed a unique method to improve water quality during the sensitive breeding phase. Using biofiltration, probiotics, and mild aeration, he keeps ammonia levels near zero, allowing larvae to grow safely. The result? A 90% survival rate, nearly double the national average. His juveniles are strong, uniform, and disease-free, fetching premium prices from other farmers. He now supplies several provinces, helping others launch their own eel ventures. When you control the beginning of life, you control the future, he says with a smile. His breeding success has not only lifted his family's income but also created stable jobs for neighbors who help care for the tanks. Mr. Heap, the circular farmer, Binh Thuan. On the sunny coast of Binh Thuan, Mr. Dang Min Heap runs a farm that embodies sustainability. His secret isn't just clean tanks, it's a clever circular system that turns waste into value. Instead of throwing away leftover eel feed and organic residue, Mr. Heap channels it into nearby tanks stocked with catfish. The catfish thrive on what the eels leave behind, cleaning the water naturally while creating an extra source of profit. It's like running two farms in one. He laughs. His innovation reduced waste by 100% and increased overall profitability by 40%. What used to be discarded sludge now becomes food. Nothing goes to waste. Mr. Heap's model has gained attention from agricultural extension officers, who now feature his system in sustainability workshops. The secret isn't just earning more, he explains. It's about making sure every drop of water, every gram of feed, gives something back. Mr. Duck, the nutritionist, Ha Tin. Farther north in Ha Tin, Mr. Le Van Duck discovered that what goes into an eel's diet can make or break its value. Known locally as the nutritionist, he focuses on enhancing flavor and meat quality rather than just weight. His formula combines earthworm protein and egg yolk with a touch of vitamin mix, a natural, high-energy diet that gives his eels exceptional texture and color. Buyers often describe his eels as firmer, cleaner, and more flavorful than others in the market. As a result, Mr. Duke's eels sell for $6-7 per kilogram, significantly higher than average. His 5 square meters tanks earn up to $800 in profit each year. And restaurants now place advance orders before every harvest. The secret isn't feeding more, he says, it's feeding better. His small farm, once overlooked, now stands as a model for sustainable, premium aquaculture. A shared philosophy. Each of these farmers followed a different path: innovation, breeding, sustainability, nutrition, yet their outcomes share one thing: understanding. They learned that success in eel farming comes not from luck or shortcuts but from curiosity, patience, and science. They ask questions others ignore. What if the tank could think for itself? What if waste could feed another species? What if flavor mattered more than volume? Their answers have reshaped rural aquaculture. They've shown that small-scale systems, when guided by knowledge, can outperform large industrial setups. They've proven that technology isn't just for cities, it can thrive in the heart of the countryside. Behind every success is curiosity, persistence, and a bit of science. These farmers didn't just raise eels, they raised the bar for what's possible in modern farming. Their stories remind us that innovation doesn't always start in laboratories or boardrooms. Sometimes, it starts with a farmer, a tank, and the courage to ask, what if I did it differently? 8. Expert insights. Science meets practice. Behind every thriving eel farm stands not only hard work but also the quiet force of science. Across Vietnam, research institutes and aquaculture experts have been working hand in hand with farmers to refine the techniques that transform muddy traditions into clean, profitable systems. What began as scattered experiments has now become a nationwide model of innovation and cooperation. The Vietnamese Aquaculture Institutes, particularly Research Institute for Aquaculture No. 2, RIA 2, in Ho Chi Minh City and the Aquaculture Extension Center of Ba Ria, Vung Tau, have spent years studying how to optimize eel farming through recirculating aquaculture systems, ROS, and biofiltration technology. Their results are clear and powerful. By using ROS, farmers can shorten the production cycle by up to 2 months, while maintaining survival rates of 95 to 99%. At the core of this system lies biological filtration, a natural, bacteria-based process that removes toxic ammonia and nitrite from the water. Traditional ponds rely on periodic water changes, which can stress the animals and waste resources. In ROS, however, colonies of beneficial bacteria convert harmful compounds into stable, harmless nitrates, creating a balanced ecosystem where eels thrive. As one researcher at RIA2 explains, water quality isn't just chemistry, it's the foundation of success. Once you control your water, everything else becomes easier: feeding, health, and growth. This principle has become the cornerstone of modern aquaculture education across Vietnam. Farmers once skeptical of scientific advice are now active participants in training programs and workshops. Many cooperatives partner directly with research institutions to receive technical guidance and access to new technologies. The Ba Ria, Vung Tau Aquaculture Extension Center introduced standardized eel farming modules that teach farmers how to manage oxygenation, filtration, and feed conversion efficiency. Farmers learn how to measure parameters daily, not by intuition, but by data. With a simple handheld meter, they can check pH, dissolved oxygen, and ammonia levels in minutes. By maintaining consistent readings, they achieve cleaner tanks, faster growth, and higher yields. Training doesn't stop at water quality. Experts also emphasize biosecurity, disinfecting equipment, using separate nets for each tank, and avoiding cross-contamination between batches. Disease prevention has become a science of discipline. In Giang Province, the local farmers' union took these lessons further, forming eel farming cooperatives that share resources and expertise. Members pool money to buy bulk feed, share ROS components, and collectively market their harvests to ensure better prices. Cooperative data shows that farmers working together report 30% higher profitability than those operating alone. Knowledge sharing is just as valuable as equipment, says one cooperative leader. When one farmer succeeds, the whole village learns. Vietnamese researchers have also worked on developing locally adapted eel strains that grow faster in controlled tank conditions. These improved breeds are now distributed through official hatcheries, reducing reliance on wild-caught eels and protecting natural ecosystems. Meanwhile, universities are introducing hands-on aquaculture programs for young students. At Can Tho University, for instance, agricultural engineering majors spend months in live demonstration farms where they operate ROS systems, monitor bacterial cycles, and run small-scale production trials. This new generation of students is bringing a data-driven mindset to rural aquaculture, merging theory with reality. All these efforts are reshaping the future of Vietnam's aquaculture industry, one tank at a time. Farmers once guided by instinct are now guided by science. Clean water replaces muddy guesswork, sensors replace superstition, and precision replaces chance. The success of eel farming is no longer measured by luck or weather. It's measured by metrics: ammonia levels, oxygen readings, feed ratios, and growth rates, all fine-tuned to perfection. But beyond the numbers lies something deeper: confidence. Because when farmers understand the science behind their systems, they're not just raising eels, they're raising the standard for a new generation of sustainable farming. 9. The profit equation: turning water into wealth. Every drop of water in an eel tank carries potential for growth, stability, and wealth. What makes this model special isn't just that it works, it's that it works for anyone willing to apply the method with precision. Turning water into wealth isn't magic, it's math, management, and a mindset shift. Let's break down a real-world example: a farm with 10 cement tanks, each about 6 square meters in size. It's the perfect scale for a small family operation or an entrepreneurial startup. The initial investment includes construction, piping, and basic filtration. Building and finishing the tanks costs roughly $4-6.000, depending on local materials and labor. Add in aerators, plumbing, and temperature control equipment, and you've built a long-lasting foundation for a professional farm. Next come the operating costs: fingerlings, feed, supplements, and electricity. For a single production cycle, 6 to 8 months. These typically total around $2. Feed remains the largest expense, accounting for 50 to 60% of running costs. But farmers who supplement with local protein sources like worms or snails can reduce it significantly. Now, the revenue side, where precision pays off. With proper management, Each 6 square meters tank produces 15 to 20 kilograms of market-sized eels. And total yield across 10 tanks can reach 900 to 1.200 kilograms per cycle. At current market prices of $5-8 per kilogram, depending on quality and size, gross revenue per cycle ranges between $4.500 and $7. Subtract costs, and the numbers tell a clear story. Net profit of $2-4.000 per cycle, achieved in just half a year. That's equivalent to a 40 to 60% return on investment every 6 months. And many farmers run 2 full cycles per year. But this is only the beginning. When farms integrate ROS technology, profits rise even higher. Recirculating systems improve water stability, reduce feed waste, and dramatically increase survival rates. In controlled studies by Vietnamese aquaculture institutes, ROS systems boosted overall profits by 20 to 30%, mainly because fewer eels died and growth accelerated. This means that the same 10-tank setup can earn $5-8.000 per cycle with lower labor and water costs. Over 1 year, the system can return the entire investment plus 100 to 200% ROI. Numbers unheard of in most other agricultural ventures of similar scale. Beyond the raw figures, the model's real strength lies in its scalability. Farmers can start with 2 or 3 tanks to test the system, learn the rhythms, and reinvest profits to expand. Unlike poultry or shrimp farming, where expansion requires massive infrastructure, eel farming grows organically, tank by tank, pond by pond. Another powerful advantage is cash flow stability. Because the production cycle lasts only 6 to 8 months, income refreshes quickly. Farmers aren't locked into year-long harvest schedules or unpredictable seasons. They can stagger tank stocking, releasing new batches every 2 months, to ensure continuous output and steady income all year. Labor savings also play a big role in long-term profit. Traditional pond farming often requires 2 or 3 workers for cleaning, water management, and feeding. Modern tank farms, equipped with aerators and semi-automated systems, can be run by a single person. Many farmers say they now have time for side businesses or family, a luxury unheard of before. Water bills also shrink. ROS setups recycle up to 90% of total water, cutting usage and costs dramatically. The reduced need for antibiotics or chemical treatments saves even more. One farmer from Ninh Binh reported lowering his total operating expenses by 25% after switching from pond culture to ROS tanks. The profits go beyond money. Clean water means cleaner work, no more mud, odor, or constant maintenance. Families can build farms close to their homes, even in urban or suburban settings. This accessibility opens doors for young entrepreneurs, retirees, and families with limited land. Financial analysts often describe this model as micro-industry farming. It merges the scalability of small business with the sustainability of clean agriculture. And like any business, consistency is what drives compounding growth. Imagine the cycle visually, a simple chart showing each harvest adding another layer of profit. The first year covers construction. The second year doubles income. By the third, expansion begins. With discipline and reinvestment, one backyard can become a local eel supply hub, feeding restaurants, hotels, and even export markets. The math is solid, the science is proven, the opportunity is real. But behind every number lies something more powerful: belief. Belief that farming doesn't have to mean exhaustion, that profit doesn't require pollution, and that innovation belongs not just in cities but in the countryside. This is the profit equation of the future. Clean water plus smart design plus disciplined management equals sustainable wealth. It's not magic, it's method. 10. Sustainability and future outlook. Clean farming for a greener planet. Every revolution that lasts must do more than generate profit. It must protect the planet that sustains it. The no-mud eel farming model is not just a business, it's a blueprint for clean, circular, and sustainable aquaculture. In a world facing climate change, water scarcity, and pollution, this system proves that farming and the environment can thrive together. Traditional fish ponds often leave behind sludge, thick layers of decomposing mud that release methane, ammonia, and harmful bacteria. Over time, this waste seeps into nearby rivers and soil, poisoning the ecosystem. The new cement tank system changes everything. With no mud and constant water circulation, waste never accumulates. Filters and biomedia capture solids and convert toxins before they can escape into the environment. The result is cleaner discharge water, so clean, in fact, that it can be reused safely for irrigation or secondary aquaculture. Many farmers now integrate their eel systems with vegetable gardens or secondary fish species. The nutrient-rich water from the tanks becomes natural fertilizer, feeding plants instead of polluting the ground. This zero-waste loop creates a self-sustaining ecosystem. Eels feed the plants, and plants purify the water. What was once waste is now a resource. The system is also perfectly suited for small family farms and urban setups. Because it requires little space, minimal labor, and controlled water use, eel farming can thrive in places where traditional agriculture can't. Rooftops, courtyards, even repurposed garages. Families can earn stable income without harming their surroundings or depending on large land plots. It represents a shift from heavy, land-based farming to smart, space-efficient micro-aquaculture. Globally, this model aligns perfectly with emerging trends in sustainable and traceable aquaculture. Consumers in the US, Europe, and Asia increasingly demand clean, eco-certified food. They want products that are chemical-free, water-efficient, and transparent from farm to table. The no-mud eel model fits that demand naturally. It reduces environmental impact, eliminates antibiotics, and produces traceable batches of high-quality protein. Technology also pushes this vision further. IoT sensors, water monitors, and solar-powered systems are helping farmers track every detail, from oxygen levels to feed ratios, in real time. These tools turn rural farms into smart, data-driven ecosystems that meet international standards. As governments tighten regulations on waste and emissions, eel farming's low footprint makes it an attractive solution for the future of aquaculture. From a broader perspective, this model isn't limited to eels. Its principles, clean tanks, water recirculation, and biological balance, can be applied to other species. From catfish and snakehead to freshwater shrimp, the knowledge built around eel systems may soon become the foundation for the next generation of eco-smart aquafarms worldwide. The vision is clear, from Asia's countryside to America's suburbs. These small, efficient tanks can feed families, sustain livelihoods, and protect the planet, all at once. It's the kind of innovation the world needs right now: profitable, scalable, and sustainable. The age of muddy, wasteful ponds is ending. The future of farming is clean, connected, and circular, where technology meets ecology, and every drop of water counts. From Asia to America, the eel tank model fits the future of food security, proving that green farming isn't just possible, it's already here. 11. Takeaway lessons, 6 secrets of success, approximately 400 words. After years of trial, learning, and transformation, the most successful eel farmers share one truth: prosperity comes from precision. They don't rely on chance, they follow a clear set of principles. These 6 secrets are the pillars of sustainable, high-profit eel farming, lessons born from experience and refined by science. 1. Quality breeding stock. Every great harvest begins with great life. Strong, uniform, and disease-free juveniles are the foundation of the system. Farmers who source fingerlings from reputable hatcheries achieve faster growth, fewer losses, and better yields. Never gamble with random or wild-caught stock. They bring stress and unpredictability. In aquaculture, genetics equals success. 2. Strict water management. Clean water isn't just a condition, it's the entire environment. Daily testing for pH, 7 to 8, oxygen, greater than 3 mg per liter, and ammonia, less than 0.5 mg per liter, keeps the system stable. Whether through Ross filters or manual changes, disciplined water care prevents 90% of disease problems before they start. Remember, Healthy water. Healthy profit. 3. Regular grading. Eels grow at different speeds. And overcrowding breeds aggression. Every 30 days, separate the fast growers from the smaller ones. This ensures even growth, minimizes biting injuries, and creates consistent product size for the market. Farmers who skip this step often lose up to 20% of potential profit, not because of disease, but because of imbalance. 4. Balanced nutrition. Feed isn't just fuel, it's medicine, flavor, and profit combined. A diet of 80% fresh feed, worms, small fish, snails, and 20% high-protein pellets gives the best results. Adding vitamin C and probiotics twice per month enhances digestion and immune strength. Balanced feed means stronger eels, cleaner water, and premium quality meat that earns top market prices. 5. Rotational stocking. Smart farmers never let their tanks stay empty. By staggering batches, stocking new eels every 1 to 2 months, they create a continuous harvest cycle. This keeps income steady year-round, reduces market risk, and ensures a constant cash flow. It's the difference between farming as survival and farming as a business. 6. Technology adoption. Data is the new fertilizer. Simple digital sensors, mobile alerts, and ROS automation systems have turned traditional eel farms into smart ecosystems. Farmers who monitor conditions through their phones save time, reduce labor, and act before problems occur. When technology meets tradition, efficiency multiplies. These 6 principles have turned small tanks into profitable enterprises across Asia. They are the backbone of the farmer's alley philosophy: clean systems, smart management, and sustainable success. 12. Emotional reflection. The heart of a farmer. When the day ends and the noise of the world fades, the farm comes alive in a different way. Under the soft glow of a single bulb, a farmer walks quietly between the tanks. The air is cool, the water ripples gently, and the rhythmic bubbling of aerators fills the night like a heartbeat. He bends down, touches the water, and smiles. Beneath the surface, hundreds of eels twist slowly, healthy, calm, alive. Each one represents more than just profit, it represents hope, stability, and freedom. It's not about the eels, he says softly, it's about a better life for our families. For generations, farmers like him struggled with uncertainty, weather, disease, rising costs, endless debt. But today, something has changed. The tanks don't just hold water and fish, they hold possibility. A clean, controlled system means freedom from mud, from exhaustion, from fear. It's the difference between surviving and truly living. This isn't the story of big corporations or million-dollar facilities. It's the story of ordinary people, mothers, fathers, grandparents, who refused to give up. They learned, adapted, and built something new with their own hands. They turned knowledge into income, science into independence, and tradition into innovation. In these quiet hours, there's dignity in every bubble, pride in every tank, and gratitude in every breath of clean air. Farming, once seen as a hard and dirty job, is being reborn, smarter, cleaner, and more human than ever before. The soft hum of the filters becomes a song of persistence. The reflection of light on the water becomes a symbol of tomorrow. The tanks, once just tools, have become monuments to resilience, proof that progress begins with those who refuse to stand still. The quiet sound of bubbling water isn't noise, it's the sound of independence. It's the whisper of families who finally control their destiny. It's the rhythm of a new kind of farming, one that nourishes not just the body, but the soul. Because in the end, success isn't measured only in kilograms or dollars. It's measured in peace, pride, and the simple joy of knowing that every sunrise brings another chance to grow. From a bare concrete floor to a tank filled with life, this is the journey of transformation. You've seen how it begins: a clean setup, a few strong fingerlings, careful feeding, and consistent care. Step by step, the water turns clear, the eels grow strong, and profit starts to flow. It's not luck, it's a system, and it works. Across the countryside, from the deltas of Vietnam to the small towns of America, Farmers are proving that innovation doesn't require millions, only determination and the willingness to learn. A few years ago, they were struggling with mud, unpredictable weather, and unstable prices. Today, they manage clean, efficient tank systems that produce steady income and peace of mind. So here's the truth: if they can do it, so can you. You don't need acres of land or a lifetime of experience. You don't even need to quit your current job. All it takes is one tank, a few square meters of space, a bit of curiosity, and the courage to start. That small step can grow into a family business, a sustainable income stream, or even a community movement. Start with what you have. Learn as you go. Build your first system, care for your first batch, and experience the pride of creating something alive. Every tank you build is more than just a structure, it's a promise of independence. And remember, you're not alone. You're part of a growing community of smart farmers, innovators, and dreamers, people who believe that modern farming should be clean, profitable, and sustainable. Together, we're redefining what agriculture means in the 21st century. Now, it's your turn. Tell us, what would you raise in your backyard goldmine? Share your ideas, your dreams, and your questions in the comments. Let's build the next generation of eco-farmers, one tank, one idea, one success story at a time. Because the revolution in farming isn't waiting for permission. It's already here, and it starts wherever you stand. From green grass to golden profit, your journey starts here.